Yeah. Okay, it's 5 o'clock on September the 23rd. I'm going to call this meeting to order of Point Edward Village Council. First of all, the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. It is through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. Is there anyone with pecuniary interest?
I have one,
You have one?
just fire department decontamination.
Okay,
None here.
Not here.
okay. Well, as always, if something comes up, we can stay for that time. No planning, no designations. Move down to adoption of the minutes from July the 22nd.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any questions on the minutes?
I have a question on, let's see, what is that? Yeah, the curb cut. Did that get, did the planner approve that?
Yes.
Verified, okay,
Yep.
because I didn't see anything in the revenue side yet, so I was wondering if that had gone through. Okay, thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. I'm going to ask, is there anything?
No.
No. Financial reports, move on to general operations, July and August.
I will move that the total revenues in general operations for the month of July 2025 in the amount of $1,258,410.18 be approved. And that the total expenditures in general operations for the month of July 2025 in the amount of $1,221,410.97 be approved. And that the total revenue in general operations for the month of August 2025 in the amount of $112,755.68 be approved. And that the total expenditures in general operations for the month of August 2025 in the amount of $2,878.96 be approved.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Move on to environmental services, financials.
I'll move that the total revenues in environmental services for the month of July 2025 in the amount of $206,291.35 be approved. That the total expenditures in environmental services for the month of July 2025 in the amount of $175,876 be approved. And then the updated financial statements for the month of June 2025 showing revenues of $169,125.06 and expenditures of $172,400.78 be received and filed. And furthermore, that the total revenues in environmental services for the month of August 2025 in the amount of $129,701.79 be approved. And that the total expenditures in environmental services for the month of August 2025 in the amount of $199,145.29 be approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I don't have to reread it.
Yeah. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Move on to committee reports, and the first one is operations.
Move that the minutes of the operations committee meeting held September 9th, 2025 be approved as circulated.
I'll second that.
Lots of highlights. St. Clair Street progressing, still some fine details being worked on. There is a nice coat of asphalt on it now, so it looks really good. The arena is got a coat of ice, I believe, and had some paint laid down and is starting to look really good. And we're full as usual and getting a lot of requests to see if other groups can move in, and it's a lot of positive comments.
I have a question regarding operations. It's not covered in the minutes, but this might be the best time.
Sure.
It's through you to Mike. The painting of the stop bars, what directive was given to staff on where to place them in an intersection?
The mayor, it was according to the regulations in the OTM, I believe it was about 15 for any stop bars would have to be painted according to a regulated stop. So if there was a yield, a stop sign, or anything that impeded traffic, stop bar would, or crosswalk would be put at that
I'm
place.
saying the location on the road, how is that determined?
Again, that is set through the regulations. Any ones that were previously there, I explained to them that they should grandfather it until we can do a proper mill and pave and be able to appropriately move them according to the regulations.
Okay, I ask, because some of them are like 4 and 5 feet away from the crosswalk, and what I've read online is that it looks like they've aligned them with the actual stop signs, and that's not the prescribed location. It's supposed to be where you want the vehicle to stop at the intersection, because some of them, they stop, and then you got to drive up another 4 or 5 feet to even see down the intersection. I'm just wondering, like, most of them are in line with the signs themselves versus where is the safest spot to stop.
As mentioned, the mayor, there was, looking at the existing locations of the stop signs. In order to move them according to the regulations, we would have to remove all the stop signs, move them up into the proper locations, and then repaint all those individual areas. It's something we can look at in the future.
Well, from what I've read, though, I don't want to argue, but it doesn't have to be aligned with the stop sign.
No, it can be within a meter. It can
Right.
be, it can be within a meter back from the stop sign. That's correct.
Or, yeah, so like the sign is there, you actually stop your vehicle at the line.
Correct.
And some of these lines are like, you almost have to get a cab up to the crosswalk, so. Okay, so,
We'll again, as we get through each individual road section, we can review each one of them to make sure that the stop signs are aligned appropriately. And I know in certain locations, down in the north end of the village, there is quite a bit of homes and a lot of foliage that's in that place. Moving the stop signs that close would actually impede in traffic. So we'll have to just make the best judgment call according to the regulations and according to the road situation.
and I just want to restate, like,
Yes.
I'm not saying the stop signs themselves have to be moved.
Mhm.
The bars just need to be put in the right spot of where we want the cars to stop, right? Like, the ones on Alexandra are examples of that, where there's like significant gaps between the crosswalk and that. And do you know when we'll be finishing them up?
The staff is continuing to work until it gets too cold.
Okay.
They're chipping away at individual areas.
Okay. Okay, thanks. That's all.
The point is then, no, that this all has to be done again next year when they put down the second pavement, the second layer.
No,
Well,
No?
what
This is
he's
not-
talking about is all over the village.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I thought you meant on St. Clair Street.
no.
We will continue, like I said, staff
Yeah.
will continue to review it and move it accordingly to, as you mentioned.
Yeah, if you get a chance, take a look at some ones that are out there, because they're huge gaps.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, move on to fire. Sorry, all in favor. Thank you. Get into the conversation. Forget the vote. Okay, fire committee.
Thank you. I'll move that the minutes of the fire committee meeting held September 9th, 2025 be approved as circulated.
Second.
I've got a couple highlights from that meeting.
Yeah, before,
Community Emergency Management Coordinator reviewed some items. And one of them is an application based on the oil and gas well grant that we'll be talking about later in the meeting, about the decontent. CEMC also has prepared an emergency plan for Pima and the arena. And they'll be involved in the coaches session that they're having, coaches and trainers for the deep cut course on the 29th of September. And also Pima has purchased a safety kit for deep cuts that will be kept at the arena for users to access in a case of emergency. Fire chief provided an overview of the exception to the proposed mandatory firefighter certification requirement. And it says here, we were supposed to be talking about that tonight, so that is.
We've been working on a letter,
Okay.
but they're not happy with it yet.
Okay.
They bring it to you guys yet, so
It's in progress?
Yes.
That's good, thanks.
sorry, this is a letter for,
to talk about there was a letter asking for support for a letter to extend the deadlines for firefighter certification,
oh,
those
okay.
types of things. So it's a letter in support of that.
And also and I'm sure we'll hear about it later again. Point Edward Open House for the fire department is Monday, October 6th at between 6 and 8 p.m. That's my highlights.
Greg, you had a question?
Yeah, so in our agenda, there's two sets of minutes. One is environmental services in the fire tab. So it's under. At least in my e-scribe.
Okay, it just got in and overdrove it. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all.
I'm not sure how that happened.
Earlier in my home, they were both environmental services, and that's why I was gonna bring it up. It is fire and environmental now, so. Good. That's all.
All in favor? Moving on to environmental services.
Thank you, Mayor Hand. I move that the minutes of our Environmental Services Committee meeting on September 9th, 2025 be received and filed.
Second.
Thank you, Paul. So staff have been very busy with the St. Clair Street project as well as the Michigan Street crosswalks and bump outs. In addition to that, the berm at the Environmental Services Building has been relocated to the back property line to make room for the new building. We had a discussion on ways to reassign revenues and expenses within the budget. That'll be brought forward for council's discussion, ways to ensure that the service costs support staffing and operating costs. So it's Jim's working on a formula and is moving forward with that. And I did ask that the CAO prepare a couple sample water bills to help us understand if there'd be any impact to consumers. It shouldn't be because we're just moving money around, but the consumption base might have some impact. So Jim's working on that. And that's all from environmental services. But we did acknowledge the hard work that staff have done from that department with the St. Clair Street project and the different parts of it.
Supporting the Works Department. They work well together, both groups. Appreciate it. Any other questions? All in favor? And move on to finance.
I will move that the minutes of the finance committee meeting held September 9th, 2025 be approved as did.
I'll second that.
We discussed the 2026 village budget timeline and the schedule changes for that during this meeting.
You want to just specify like what we're moving to, just to help people. I mean, we've notified a lot of people that might be putting in requests, but we're changing our schedule so that our year end is December. We used to do budget in March. So
If you want, I can pull up the difference from us.
If I can help you,
Sure.
if the budget, proposed budget day is November 20. Yeah, I believe it is. So
Yeah.
process is up to that date, but the budget deliberations are scheduled for November 25th.
So we're moving it months ahead. So
Yeah.
it's just everybody's scrambling to meet the new schedule. Thank you. Any other questions? All in favor? Okay, moving on to miscellaneous reports. First one is building permits.
Make to receive and file.
Thank you. And any questions on that? All in favor? Thank you. Second one is Point Edward Senior Advisory Committee meeting update.
I'll move and receive and file.
I'll second that.
Any questions on that?
I just have one. In the minutes, it makes reference that Point Edward's gonna host Ontario Senior Games this fall. First I heard of it. I have not
And-
seen anything.
It's in your backyard.
I've been told that someone was gonna talk about it. But I was told that by some council. And I've had no call.
It was just surprising to see
I know.
that.
That's all I
in our
know
minutes.
is
Okay.
Counselor White told me that someone wanted to talk about. Including Point Edward, and no one's ever called. I
Thank you.
don't know. You told me that at the plowing match.
I just read one thing that they were gonna do something with the service club. It's not it can be like cribbage or something, or
Oh.
euchre, like it's not, baseball games and swimming and
Oh,
stuff like
okay.
that. And I thought I read somewhere, I don't know if the service club had it on their calendar,
Okay,
but I do remember it was gonna be something, I thought it was through them. But
I
don't
don't
quote
think
me
that
on
was
that.
I'm gonna,
what Council White was.
it's gonna be
alluding
in
to,
minutes,
but
right, Jim?
Anyway, I never got the phone call, so I don't know what's out there.
Thank you.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to communications receive and file. We'll go 1 to 9.
I'll move the
Perhaps.
communications 1 to 9 be received and filed.
Seconder,
Second.
thank you. All in favor? And then council, like the
The trail?
Trails Committee.
Okay, I'll move that, item 10 be received and filed.
I'll second it.
And I've got a couple highlights from our May 1st meeting in minutes. We've been discussing for a while a new map, and we were going to partner up with TSL, and that looks like that is not gonna happen. And we're also gonna update the Trails website on the county website. And we've had a discussion about our charitable status, because we are a charity, this committee. So there's been question raised about that. And also at these meetings, all the reps give an idea to everybody what their communities are doing, and I highlighted that we had 5 new PXOs. We had 4 on Michigan and 1, and everybody was all excited about that because they know that makes us, everything safer for active people. Then on the July 10th meeting, we further talked about the map development. And Blue Water Trails, they had a huge update for us. And they've got 99 items on their work list to deal with the city. So they've got a gung-ho group this year, and they're really moving forward. We also talked about a new document for governance and the financial implications of that, as well as our charitable status. So that's ongoing. So that's just a little bit of what we've been doing and we're all representative of all different trails committees and municipalities. So,
Question,
yes.
Comment.
sorry.
I have a comment. when you're
Okay.
done.
What happened with not coordinating with TSL?
TSL's on a different schedule than us, so we're gonna go off and do our own map. We're all getting quotes right now, so. That's what's been decided. And we have TSL representation on our committee.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
I just have a quick comment about your update. Thank you for doing that, but we actually have 6 pedestrian crossings in the village now. We just one on St. Clair.
St. Clair, you
Yeah.
forget about.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
we only had 5 at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, all in favor? We'll do that, thank you. Move on to new business, the first one. Is a discussion around the decontamination unit grant. For the fire hall.
I'll move the council authorize the purchase of the proposed decontamination unit using funds from the contingency reserve, and that upon receiving funds from the grant, they be replaced into the contingency reserve.
Second.
Mhm. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Where are you going? All in favor? Thank you. All right, next one,
Now you have time to get a drink.
responsible animal ownership bylaw and Schedule A set fines.
So this is, at the last meeting, we brought the bylaw from a couple years ago forward. And we were asked to go back and see what some of the surrounding municipalities are doing. So Jen reached out to several, all of them, and got responses back. And this is kind of a summary of what they do. This is like there was discussion about, do we want to continue selling dog tag licenses? And change there. If we continue to sell them, the bylaw is pretty much set the way it is. If we're not going to sell licenses anymore, there's a number of changes that have to be made to the bylaw. So it's just a summary of what other municipalities are doing, and then looking for some council direction on where we might want to go.
Councilor Mondue?
through the mayor to stay over, I have a question, did we talk to the Humane Society on this? No, or public health? Because, you know, animal bites do result in being reported to public health, and they are a safety issue for the community, so. If there's no way to, if we don't do dog or tags, how do we track that? How do we find out who the owner is and that, so that's my concern, if we don't.
It tends to happen a lot. Because like the public health will put it out immediately, and typically they can't identify the owner or the dog anyhow. I find a lot of people, if their dog misbehaves, their first instinct is to vacate and having the dog out, and might not even be aware that it happened. I don't know what their success rate is anyhow in tracking down the dogs. Or how, even if the person is licensed in the village or from somewhere else.
Counselor.
So I think,
Deputy Mayor,
that's right, Counselor works.
person.
Yeah, man to my left.
Yeah.
I think dog tags have run their course. Responsible pet owners either get their dog microchipped, which a lot of people do. It takes a simple wand from the Humane Society or a vet to find out who the owner of the dog is. Other responsible pet owners they buy the little tag with the dog's name and a phone number to help them track down a dog. I like what Lambton Shores does. No tags, no fees, no registration. If the dog's found, it's dropped off to the Humane Society. Let them worry about it. That's what we pay them to do, is to manage dogs. So as a village, I assume rarely does anybody call to say who owns dog tag number 27. So it's not like it's a busy process. So and you hear about people taking dogs to the Humane Society right away. That is usually the route people go. So I think it's not a revenue source, and I think but I also thought that if we do go that route, what are my notes? That we do a twice annual communication just on responsible pet ownership, the how to microchip your dog, how to do your own tags, and remind people that all the bylaws and fines and requirements of responsible pet ownership still apply, but that we're out of the tag business is the way I'd like to see us go.
And a reminder what the bylaw is on the number of dogs per household.
Yeah, just a reminder on all that stuff. We don't even do that at all now.
No,
so.
I know, but I would like
Yeah.
to have that communicated to remind some people. 2 dogs is a maximum. So I don't know if you lose the licensing, you don't really control that, but I guess we don't control it that much now. If they don't
Well,
come in and get licenses.
As we've said before, if somebody's outside the bylaw, they're not going to come here and ask for 8
No.
dog tags. It's just not going to happen. So the people that have more than enough dogs don't do dog tags, or they just come in and only get the 2
Right.
and share them. I don't know, but
Any other comments?
I also support Councillor Mondu's suggestion that we engage the Humane Society and the health unit on how they feel the importance of these tags are, because they may have a very strong argument of why they should be retained, and if that's the case, then I think we need to reassess it. But because they're 2 key players in the whole dog management and dog bite and rabies and the whole thing, so they would be good people to get their opinion.
We have time to do that check because dog licenses, the communication goes out for January for selling. So we can take the time and then make the decision in the fall. If you want to do that, more follow-up.
So I think what I'm kind of hearing is that I should consult with Public Health and the Humane Society. And if they don't have really compelling arguments or opinions with discontinuing licenses, then I would amend this proposed bylaw to reflect not selling licenses anymore. And then bring that back to a future, fairly
Nobody's seconding.
Near future.
That was my suggestion. Nobody
That's-
seconded
yeah.
that, so that's.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Burgess, the secondary. So any other questions? All in favor of that? Thank you. November 2025 meeting scheduled. So looking to move the council meeting because that's budget day. Or discussion about what we should do.
So committee day that month is gonna be moved back one day because November 11th would be committee day. Currently, the proposed schedule that we put out for budget proposed doing the budget on a regular council day. And we just felt that that would be a painful day to do budget and regular council business all on the same day. So my thought was to move the regular meeting back to the first Tuesday in December instead of doing it all in one day.
That would be the only meeting in December.
Most likely, unless
Unless
something
something
came
comes
up, but yeah.
Call of the chair. For need. Does anyone have a concern, comment?
No, that works for me.
Yeah, there's lots of notice too. but-
Yeah.
Lots of notice. Okay. All in favor then? The plan?
We should have a,
Thank you.
Yeah, who moved it in second?
Nobody.
we should have a mover and a seconder.
Deputy
Jim?
Mayor Grimes moved. it.
Yeah.
And
I'll second.
I think Jim and
Counselor
you,
Knox
I think Jim and
was
you, but it sounded like.
Okay. And then counselor's travel policy is the other new business. So a couple of years, almost 3 years ago, there's a policy developed for conference remuneration. I've attached the current policy as it exists. Deputy Mayor Grimes asked that we review the policy. And then he prepared an alternative policy that reflects most of what's in this existing policy. And then let me make it a little bit bigger for you, the existing. Basically the only change, there's a change of the meal allowance from $75 to $85 per day, which reflects what's in the collective agreement. And then the other change I think is around
Number 3.
transportation costs. So I think everyone was sent that email. I can bring it up in a second. That's not what I want.
I can speak to it real quick. When I
Okay.
call it up. So like, as Jim noted, we as a council, we reviewed this like 3 years ago. I think we were very aggressive in modifying it to make sure the taxpayers were getting best bang for their buck for us to attend, and that but we were still getting our costs covered. The problem with the transportation is there's no clarity to it on what people consider the most economical way. I know in the past, some people have referred to train as the cheapest method of travel, and that's sort of been the number we've used, but we haven't really, like I said, if we were going to continue with that, we really should get the CAO to tell us, I checked train fares, you're going to be compensated $322 for travel.
That's what I did.
Yeah, but I looked at train fares and it was a different number based on when I went and looked at the numbers, it's based on volume and all that stuff. And also too, like I looked at the train, if I was to take the train and to attend the entire conference, I would have to stay over another night because the train leaves during the Wednesday morning session. So the train is X number of dollars, another hotel's $250, another per diem's another $125, and some more meals. We're almost breaking even to what it would cost for me to just drive myself. So the revision I made is just that make reasonable efforts to travel in the most economical manner, and select the method of travel that best suits you as a council member. I think we have to understand that our time has value, and the St. Clair Township people that took the train this year told me they were longer than 12 hours getting there. They sat on a siding by Oshawa for so long. that Domino's Pizza delivered pizzas to the train to feed them. So they were more than 12 hours getting there. I think we all give up a lot in our day-to-day routine, and I don't think any of us want to be stuck on a siding near Oshawa for any extended period of time. So it would just allow us to travel there or to wherever in the way that best suits us. Short of limousines or whatever,
Mhm.
right?
I don't disagree with that. I think that once you add in other expenses to the train, to get to the train station and from the train station and back, and then even time aside, because last year, I believe the same thing happened to those traveling using Via Rail to the conference in Ottawa. It was about 12 hours each way. It could add up and be more expensive. I think maybe there's a better way of wording it to encompass what the cost should be. I'm not sure what that would be, but if it was, you know, if the most economical method of transportation is the train, you would have to factor in the cost of getting to and from and all of those expenses.
So that's not how I interpreted it, and the discussion a couple years ago was about the cost of mileage. So I drove my own car. I took a value of a train and put that through. So my expenses were not covered, but I understand that. So I wasn't gonna take the train, it was just a value.
So maybe, Jim, you could just explain the claims to date and how the train fare has fluctuated.
So yeah, the train depends it's much like a flight. The cost of it changes day to day for various reasons, and generally the further ahead you book it, the better price you get. So when I selected the price that I submitted for my own travel, I looked at a ticket. I didn't look at it before we traveled. When I came home, I'm like, I should have done this.
Which is
But I
fine.
looked about 6 weeks out, because that's I figured that's when I decided for sure that I was going to AIMA, was about 6 weeks before the conference. So I booked a train ticket on a Saturday to, leave on Saturday, come home on Wednesday, what would a round trip ticket cost? And with taxes, I believe it was just over $300. And then I added in a bit of money, and it's just picking a number out of the air for taxi or Uber or whatever for travel within the city. So that's what I put in, was 350, and Mayor did the same. We talked about what are we going to do. That's what we did. Councillor Mondu was already in Toronto, so he charged mileage from Toronto to Ottawa and back, because he was there already, and that's what's happened. That's what's happened for this year so far. And then I guess you've submitted for mileage, and then we're having this discussion, and then you've also got, when you drive, you've got parking, obviously. Most conferences you go to, there's going to be a cost for parking, toll routes, that type of thing.
You don't cover parking tickets?
I just thought of that. I
We do
just
not.
got my toll bill today.
Mhm.
But I don't remember in the past if we've covered that or not. I just got it today and I
Yeah.
always submitted.
Yeah,
my
which
stuff.
is fine. I mean, if council changes this transportation policy, if we provide clarity that permits charging mileage, we can make it retroactive if you wish, and we can
And
change that.
I think what we have to all keep in mind is, if we drive our own vehicle, which should be an option to us if we want to do that, mileage is not, you don't make money on mileage. It's compensating you for the wear and tear of your tires, the earlier oil change, the maintenance on your vehicle, and insurance and the like. It's compensating you for that vehicle, and the rates that are paid by municipalities and corporations is fairly standard across the board. So some actuary or accountant has come up with these numbers. It's not out to make money. It's just to cover reasonable expenses in operating your personal vehicle. And for many of us, the train isn't just a viable option. And then to sort of be penalized and not paid what you're due for the use of your personal vehicle, to me, doesn't seem fair. So,
Now I think about, like, so when I did it, I did 330 for a train and a $40 cab. Well, that was only the one, I never thought. If it was real, you would have had another cab to go back to the train station.
mhm.
And
And I don't
possibly
put that
from the
in.
train station to.
Yeah, and
Your
home and all
home.
that,
Um,
right?
Yeah.
But I think a problem with that too is, you're just you're picking a number
I know.
for what the cab would cost.
Yeah.
You don't know.
No, I
And
just,
if we were
was-
going to stick with that, I think we would need to clarify how much exactly that would be.
I think,
How would we
yeah.
figure out that number?
If we maintain the current, then I think there needs to be a communication to us 2 months before the conference of what the agreed upon
Mhm.
train fare is based on the CAO telling us what it is. And then we can decide how we want to go, or if we want to go at all, or we adopt this and we just treat ourselves like adults to make the right decision on how to get there and back. And like I say, we cut a lot of costs out of the conference attendance, right?
Mhm.
Spouses used to get $85 a day for meals when they went. Spouses would register and be paid. So there was a lot of, and all our meals now, I don't know how everyone else is, but I think I had 2 meals.
Yeah, there's
Because I hit every hospitality suite I
Yeah.
could and ate there, and I tried to eat that way. So it's just my travel meals. So in the past, that was $85 a day for 4 or 5 days. So we've really scaled it back as far as what's claimed. And I think to focus on the transportation part and to be for a couple $100 each I just think it's the lack of clarity in how much it is, because we're just spitballing numbers after the fact, and that's not a good way to do this.
and St. Clair did business class.
Mhm,
I don't know if they did this year, but they do business class train,
mhm.
which is more money. Okay,
Gets there at the same time though, 12 hours later.
yeah,
And the train ticket for me is gonna be more expensive than it is for you too, so that
Yeah,
kind
'cause
of. it very
I know, I
valid
could
too.
get a senior rate.
Yeah, and I can't get any sort of special
Yeah.
rate, so.
Yeah.
I think it starts at 65, so be careful there.
60.
Oh, 60? Okay, we're good then. So that's what I mean. It's the lack of clarity in what we're gonna pay for transportation. And if it's mileage, or you book if you book the train and go, away you go. And all the costs incurred with that, or if you decide to drive yourself, you just put in your mileage claim, which is an agreed upon amount as established by the village, right? There's a policy on that.
Yes,
So
yeah.
it's a policy that's in place for travel with your personal vehicle. So we're not like getting a special thing here.
We often follow, like confirm with when the county changes the rate. I give it to Jim, so we've been paying what the county pays.
Yeah.
So,
Well, just a question on, you said if you take a toll road, I know my previous employer. You can drive your car, but we're not paying you to drive
well, that,
on a toll road, so. I would never, I don't even think about charging for stuff like that.
no, I didn't. 'Cause
No,
I
I'm
didn't
just
even think
saying,
about it.
because the 407's brought up
Yeah,
a bunch of issues.
the bill
If
just
you're
came
getting
today.
through the GTA toll, right? So I don't ever.
It's probably, I never did that, it's probably $100. or something.
It's,
Mine is
I haven't got mine yet, but it was
Well, I just got mine
Greg's.
today.
So
Yeah,
I submitted mine. It's up to Jim whether he approves it or not, but I think that, again, going to Ottawa and going through Toronto, and if I'm driving my car there and that's the best route, that's the route that the Apple Maps told me to take, I took it. And I think that, again, in the grand scheme of things, me having to pay the $100 to get to Ottawa for a conference, I don't know, I think that should be that's a reasonable expense for the few times that we actually use the roadway.
It's once a year.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to comment that this is both council and staff.
Mhm.
So when we, as staff, go on, conferences at Toronto, staff do use the 407. The difference is staff get paid the hourly wage while they're traveling.
right.
So if they're sitting in traffic for 2 or 3 hours, it's covering the cost of
Yeah.
to save that time. So I know myself, Tina, we talked in the past, and I know we've all used toll roads. And we like the villages paid that.
So there's a precedent, and
Yeah.
in the revised one that I've got, it says parking tolls and reasonable ground transportation may also be reimbursed, so.
I would take that as a toll road.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other comments?
Just on the meal allowance, because it was 75, and that part of that reason was because we were. Coming out of COVID, we were in a tight financial situation. And I don't know if the union agreement, I was 75 at that time or not, I can't remember now.
I think it went from 75 to 85 in
85,
this
so-
agreement, so.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
I can agree to that, you know, if we're keep everything the same for all of us, but, okay.
So, just before, we should have a motion to adopt this policy. If that's what the wishes are, but Ariana, you had talked about possibly, or sorry, Counselor Noctor, I apologize. You had talked about maybe different wording on the transportation. Did you have anything in mind or?
Just more clarity around it. It like, but if we're adopting the idea of mileage, I think that is clarity. If it was going to be related to the most economical form of transportation, which could possibly be the train, then you would have to have more clarity around the rest of the
And
transportation.
I was only doing that because I thought mileage was off the table, so if mileage comes back in, you don't have to worry about that wording.
And I think, yeah, I think we'll probably all move to a mileage-based claim. And I think having it say, provided remains a reasonable cost range, meaning you're not taking a limo bus up there at $100 an hour, right? So that wouldn't be considered a reasonable cost range. So,
Okay, I
think we can trust each other.
yeah, that's what I say too. Yeah, we're all adults
It's a
here.
trust.
And we're all driven by
Yeah.
protecting the taxpayer. That's why we went down this route. And I think the savings we've created with the other items, I think offsets a little bit of mileage that we should be entitled to. And I just want to clarify, everybody, this is moving forward from this date, right? Is that what we're doing? Not retroactive to this conference is
do you guys?
because we have three claims in that are all different as far as travel. So we either retroactive this to August 1st and we claim what we claim, or Jim will have to arm wrestle people to see how much they're getting for their transportation portion. Because it's ultimately your decision on what's paid out.
I mean, yeah, it's really a council decision if you want to make it retroactive for this year or not.
Make it retroactive for this year.
Their seconder.
Yeah, all in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other new business? No, I have made note of some community events coming up. So this Friday, September 26th, is our final car show of the season. So it's the extra, we have the extra date this year. And the charity this week is Inn of the Good Shepherd. And previously mentioned was the Firehouse Open House on Monday, October the 6th, from 6 to 8. And I've mentioned before, there's a new coffee shop going in next door to Tourism on Venetian. They're doing a soft opening this week. It's called Beans on a Mission. And really interesting menu and drinks. And their grand opening is October the 8th. I was in there today and they posted all their wares on the board because they're getting ready for the weekend. And tomorrow is Wednesday, family's anniversary. starts at 11:30 and it's their 125th anniversary at Manly's with barbecue.
Just one more item.
Yeah.
More often use the tree talk. Down at Waterfront Park from, Wyoming. Tree service. It's, 2 p.m.
And 5?
and 5, yeah, that's correct.
And if I may, Thursday, October 23rd is the St. Clair River remedial update down at the Corunna Legion.
Mhm.
Everyone's invited. You do have to RSVP if you're attending. It's a free dinner.
Is that a
And,
free dinner?
yep,
Oh,
if you
I did
register,
respond, but I didn't know it was
yeah, if you respond and reply, so
You responded to me or you respond to them?
somebody.
Okay.
you have to
Okay.
actually,
I better go back and
you
check.
actually have to click on a link and order a ticket
Okay,
to respond.
all right, I better follow it, to make sure.
So I've registered myself with
Okay,
the
you've done it.
Conservation Authority.
Okay,
If anybody wants, like, I think I forwarded that invitation to
Yeah.
people. If you want me to respond for you, I can.
here, I make sure I did, because
Okay.
I was planning on attending.
Anyone else that wants to, just please let me know and I'll take care of it.
And then it's in Corunna. Do we take the train?
Boat,
I could do that.
cruise ship.
That would cost more.
My neighbor runs a shuttle service to the airports and whatnot. They might go to the Legion. Any other things I haven't thought about? Okay, move on to bylaws.
The only one I think I say is,
Sorry.
Catch the Ace has returned to the Sarnia Legion. They started at $10,000 as the first week. They now into week 3. And I only promote it because they are, they made generous donations that will benefit Point Edward as well as other areas in Lander County. So, it's a win-win for the entire community. So
I
tickets
didn't
are on
realize
sale.
they actually started to sell, so I missed
Yeah.
that.
So I think we're into week 3 this
Okay.
week. So
Not the huge lineups yet.
not yet.
The bylaws.
So that bylaw, it'll just
Oh,
be
sorry, it's
Referred,
tabled,
yeah.
yeah,
tabled, yeah.
yeah, sorry. Do we have any pen?
No.
No. Okay, so. Confirmation bylaw,
Anyone?
Oh,
Got it open. I
I stay here all night.
Council Burgess,
Sure. Move that bylaw number 24 of 2025 being a bylaw to confirm the resolutions of Point Edward Council which are adopted up to and including September 23rd, 2025, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed on this day, September 23rd, 2025.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
I'll move adjournment, please.
One second, Council Martin, all in favor? I was gonna say any questions, no,
Just give me a minute, I gotta shut this,
you should have done.
gotta find it first.